October 8th, 2005. Henrik Lundqvist, originally drafted 5 years prior in the 7th round by the New York Rangers, was having his debut for the club against the New Jersey Devils. Needless to say, the rest is history. Normally for my videos, I don't approach things the way I'm doing now, but I have to do this straight from the heart. I have so much that I have to say as a Rangers fan, as a Henrik Lundqvist lover and fan, the sole reason why I became a hockey fan. So much words need to be spoken in this video, so I really hope you stay along for the ride here. And I won't be surprised if I get trolls in the comments that say I get a little emotional, but quite frankly, that is not going to faze me. I'm only one of the hundreds of thousands of Rangers fans right now grieving, and for good reason. Hank, as we all know, has officially been bought out by the New York Rangers. His tenure with the team is finally over. And finally, not in a good sense. I first became a New York Rangers fan back in the 2011-2012 season. I was only around 11 and 12 at the time, obviously. And when watching the New York Rangers that year, I had so much fun and so much enjoyment, led by the likes of John Tortorella as head coach, and of course assistants including the likes of Mike Sullivan, who has now 2 Stanley Cups on his resume with the likes as the head coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins. The New York Rangers went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals that season, only to get cut short by Adam Henrique in overtime, the New Jersey Devils advancing past the New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals, only to lose to the Los Angeles Kings in that year's Stanley Cup. It was heartbreaking seeing the Rangers get short in my first real season becoming a hockey fan, watching every game and following them religiously. But it was all because of the likes of Henrik Lundqvist. Statistically speaking, he had his best season that year, and while many others got very close, that 2011-2012 run was truly magical. He had a save percentage of .929, a goals allowed average of 1.97, and I believe 8 shutouts. He went on to win his first and only Vezina Trophy that year as the best goaltender in the NHL that season. Henrik Lundqvist has won all accolades in the hockey world, between gold for the Team Sweden in the Olympics, Vezina for the NHL. The only thing that the man has never won is the Stanley Cup, and it is something that crushes me every single day. So when it comes to Henrik Lundqvist, there's nothing that I would love more than to see him lift a Stanley Cup, and it really does not matter who that would be. It obviously isn't going to be with the Rangers. Something that I really hoped would be a reality, as we all did as fellow Ranger fans watching this. He got really close, of course, with the Rangers in 2013-2014, only to lose to the LA Kings again nonetheless. But Hank has been the franchise for the New York Rangers. They would not be in nearly the type positions that they have been over this past decade if it wasn't for the likes of him. I'm beyond grateful for the memories Henrik Lundqvist has given me as a hockey fan, as a Rangers fan. Without him, I don't know if I would be here talking with you today. Henrik Lundqvist is the sole reason why I started becoming a diehard hockey New York Rangers fan. Yes, there are plenty of other Rangers I have come to fall in love with, including the likes of Matt Zuccarello, but Henrik Lundqvist led the way without question. I've been fortunate enough to experience Henrik firsthand at many New York Ranger games throughout my young life. Starting from the age of 7, I believe, is when I first went to my first New York Rangers game. Henrik Lundqvist before he was even in his prime. I've also witnessed Henrik Lundqvist in his final season as a New York Ranger. I was fortunate enough to be at the Rangers season home opener these past 2 years, along with also being at the New York Rangers Winter Classic against the Buffalo Sabres in Citi Field. It was the coldest Winter Classic and outdoor game known to man for the NHL thus far. What an experience that was nonetheless, with the Rangers winning in overtime. Thank you, JT Miller. But nonetheless, Henrik has had phenomenal moments with the New York Rangers. Let's look at 2012 to 2015, for instance, when it comes to him and the Rangers. He had 6 straight Game 7 wins in the playoffs throughout 4 seasons, in which he only gave up, get ready for this, 5 goals. Henrik Lundqvist is the full value and idea of what a New York Ranger is supposed to be. He is the leader in almost every statistical category for the New York Rangers when it comes to the goaltending front. When it comes to wins with 459, I should say, pardon me. When it comes to shots against with 25,610. Saves, 23,509, including playoffs, 27,076. Save percentage, 918. Shutouts, 64. And minutes played, 51,818. Games played, 887. You want to go to actual NHL statistics between him and the entire league and its history with goaltenders? Let's throw some more stats at you. He's 6th in all of NHL's history among goaltenders with wins with 459. He is 15th in playoff wins in NHL history with 61. He is 18th in playoff save percentage by a goaltender at save percentage of 922. He is 32nd in goals allowed average per game in the playoffs with 2.30. And he is 10th in playoff games played with 130 even. Henrik Lundqvist has had so many phenomenal moments for the New York Rangers throughout his tenure. Some that come to mind for me personally, it's the Winter Classic game against the Philadelphia Flyers, the first Winter Classic that the Rangers had ever been a part of, and was the start of an undefeated streak that they still have today in outdoor games. Henrik Lundqvist had a phenomenal game in which stopping Danny Briere right towards the end of the game to hold the lead for the Rangers to become victorious in the end. I remember that game like it was yesterday. The same games come to mind with a playoff game, of course, against the Montreal Canadiens, where after that, the New York Rangers went on to the Stanley Cup Finals. Amazing. That save on Thomas Vanek, phenomenal. Blocker save, just remarkable. Henrik Lundqvist's save against the Boston Bruins in the season opener. I'm blanking on the year exactly. If I had to guess, I'm assuming it was the 2012-2013 season, but I could be wrong. But it was against the Boston Bruins. I believe the shot was by David Krejci, and Henrik Lundqvist made the save, and it blew my mind. Those are only a couple just to think about, let alone all the other stellar saves Henrik Lundqvist has had in his career, robbing the elite goal scorers in the NHL point blank, whether it's the likes of Alexander Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, among others. Yes, he has let in goals by them, of course, but he has had many great battles, and he has been the focal point for the New York Rangers throughout his entire career. And this is a day that I've been ruining since I first became a hockey and a New York Rangers fan. After I watched that 2011-2012 season for the New York Rangers, I told myself as a 11 to 12-year-old, I have no clue how I'm going to be able to handle a situation where Henrik Lundqvist is not a New York Ranger. The Rangers without the King Henrik himself. It brought a tear to my eye then, and that 12-year-old is kicking back at me as we speak. I would be lying if I said it wasn't hard to compose myself currently, because of just how much Henrik has meant to me, to the hundreds of thousands of others in the New York Rangers fan base and the hockey community. And he is for sure, undoubtedly, going to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. He will go down as one of not just the best goaltenders, but one of the best players the NHL has ever seen not to win a Stanley Cup. Assumably, he does not win one before his career officially reaches an end. I hope that isn't the case, but at this point in time, it does seem like a very unfortunate and harsh reality. When it comes to New York Rangers and Henrik Lundqvist's tenure, the first thing that comes to mind for me is being in the right place at the wrong time. I'm not going to take a long spiel and explaining how Henrik could have had things better, but there's no doubting that the type of management and regime Henrik Lundqvist was under during many key years in which the Rangers had great playoff runs, how things could have been better. Glenn Sather, as we all know, the longtime GM for the New York Rangers, made the Rangers so renowned for being the team that buys big at the trade deadline and free agency, normally for grizzled veterans who are beyond their prime and looking for that last big payday in the Big Apple. Sather had no problem doing just that and coughing up many first-round picks and key prospects in doing so. And while all of his moves haven't been terrible by any means, needless to say, things could very well be different. Because when we look at the New York Rangers right now, they're going into a new regime with Hank passing the torch to the heir apparent and czar, Igor Shesterkin himself. And the New York Rangers have a prospect pool, the potential that I've never seen to this degree in my lifetime as a Ranger fan thus far. And it will not surprise me one bit if the Rangers have runs that they were never able to accomplish with the likes of Henrik Lundqvist. It is heart-wrenching just having that thought, because while it is an exciting and bittersweet future ahead, there is no doubting how much more amazing it would have been if Henrik could be a part of this ride. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. The Rangers got awfully close in 2013 and 2014, and they wouldn't have even gotten remotely close to even the Stanley Cup Finals if it wasn't the likes of the King himself. Henrik had multiple 40 to 50 plus save performances in that year's playoffs alone, and was the sole reason why the New York Rangers stole a game in that Stanley Cup Finals against the LA Kings. Without him, they wouldn't even stand a chance, truly. And that is to not doubt the players the New York Rangers have had during that cup run and over the past decade, but he has bailed this New York Rangers team out more than I can even begin to tell you. Between playoff performances being absolutely stellar, Mr. Game 7 in his own right, along with the likes of Justin Williams, Williams being the scoring factor and Henrik being the goaltending factor. But when it comes to Henrik Lundqvist, he is my childhood. He is the sole reason why I'm a Ranger fan, why I'm talking to you today. So seeing that part of me leaving the New York Rangers organization is going to hurt for quite some time. And there's no other way to put it. To say I'm grateful to have a goaltender for my favorite team for basically a decade plus, in which I had the utmost confidence in and night out, would be beyond the understatement. Henrik, between his great looks, his modeling career, and fully embodying what it is to be a New York Ranger in the Big Apple, he checked off all the boxes and became something the New York Rangers never would have expected when they drafted him with the 200 and something overall pick in 2000. It is remarkable looking back on how much has happened since then in Hank's career. All the accolades and accomplishments he has received. And I'm just beyond grateful. I have so many memories to thank him for. I've devoted my life to sports in a sense, and it has been definitely in hand because of the likes of his play. Rangers fans, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This is a rather dark and gloomy time, and while it is bittersweet, it still hurts nonetheless, and it is going to hurt for quite some time for me personally. I really hope that Henrik has something with the Rangers in the future. I'm not sure what the future holds for him, however, but regardless of what happens with Hank, I wish him nothing but the best. And same thing with his family going forward. He is, like I said, the true embodiment of what it means to be a New York Ranger, and as classy as one can be in the hockey community. The Rangers are now going to be dealing with just around $13 million in dead cap space next season, including multiple buyouts with the likes of not just Lundqvist, Shattenkirk, Girardi, among others. I'm not really worried about it too much. I trust Jeff Gordon and the newly crowned president over this past year, and John Davidson and Chris Drury, who has been absolutely phenomenal, who surely looks like he will be a GM for an opposing team in the next year or so. But I'm grateful to still have him in the organization. But nonetheless, the Rangers have a very promising future, as we all know, which is what makes this so heart-wrenching at the same time, knowing that Henrik couldn't be a part of this run that is surely ahead. But I would love to hear your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. As always, please make sure to give me all your heartfelt thoughts, regardless of how you feel about Henrik. I would love to hear it. And look, if you're going to mock me at the end of the day from this video, do as you please. That is not stopping me from voicing my true heartfelt thoughts and opinions on the man that is the sole reason why I am talking to you today, and is the sole reason why I may very well have a career with having such a passion for not just hockey, but the New York Rangers. I cannot begin to thank him enough for all he has done for the New York Rangers and their organization. There will never be a Henrik Lundqvist again. There's no doubting that. There may be similarities with the likes of Igor Shesterkin, growing up a Henrik Lundqvist fan himself, even before he was drafted by the New York Rangers. But nonetheless, Henrik is the king. He is 1-for-1. There is no one else like him. He is truly the GOAT for the New York Rangers. And I wouldn't want it any other way. This has been a magical ride. Something that I cannot even begin to express in words just how thankful I am to be a part of it as a fan and just being a part of this hockey and Rangers community. We're grieving. We are. This was inevitable. We knew this was going to happen. But just because we knew it was going to happen doesn't mean we were ready at the end of the day. And I don't think anyone was. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear it. I might have another video up later today, depending on when I come out with this. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, make sure you do, especially the one I just came out with. And if it didn't come out yet, it will come out very soon regarding a mock draft. So make sure to check that out. Check out other Rangers videos regarding Jack Eichel and that latest rumor mill there. Check out Mark Stahl being traded to the Detroit Red Wings. Another one who was a pivotal part to this New York Rangers organization. Just wanted to touch too. I'm beyond grateful to see Ryan McDonough, Captain Mac, win the Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And now the Rangers have had 2 buyouts between Brad Richards and Kevin Shattenkirk, in which they won the Stanley Cup 1 year after they were bought out of their contracts with the New York Rangers. I don't blame the Rangers for buying out either of those contracts. I have nothing personal against either of them, but it does leave you wondering. It would not hurt to see Henrik add on to that list by any means. But between the likes of Matt Zuccarello, Rick Nash, JT Miller, Ryan McDonough, Mark Stahl, Dan Girardi, the list goes on and on. Matt Zuccarello, if I didn't say him already. That core group, Derek Stepan. Magical runs between all of them, and I'm grateful to be able to witness them over this past decade. Derek Brassard, Carl Hagelin, like I said, the list goes on and on, but they were all phenomenal. And that side of the Rangers has really reached an end now. But a new beginning is here, and boy, oh boy, is it going to be a great one. But thank you all so much for watching, guys. Like I said, check out my previous videos. Sorry that this one took a little long, but I had a lot to say, and I know I could go hours and hours on end. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, hit that like and subscribe button. Trust me, most videos are not this dark and gloomy, I assure you. You see the obvious reasoning behind my upsetness, just being upset overall. But thank you all so much for being here, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button if you like this kind of hockey content. Check out previous videos. Make sure to check out ones continuing going forward. And stay tuned for myself live streaming the first day of the NHL draft on October 6th. I hope to see you there. But thank you all so much, guys. And I'll see you soon, Hank. Bye-bye.